The second 10 years of my career, I began to become more overtly political because it was when George Bush was elected. And I saw that as a move in the wrong direction for the country. For all the work that I've been creating that was designed to encourage people to just be more analytical and come to their own conclusions, I felt maybe this is not working as a strategy. Maybe I need to be more direct, which also encouraged me to do more research about everything that was happening politically so that I could stand behind being more direct with the ideas I was putting across in my work. Then, of course, the build-up to the Iraq War happened under false pretenses. The Iraq War happened, and Afghanistan, endless war in the Middle East, and I felt like it was really important to address that directly. So a lot of the work that I'm doing in my second decade is based around me becoming more comfortable speaking my mind about things happening in the news cycle and then standing behind it. A more honest manifestation of where I was coming from based on my love of how people like Joe Strummer, Bob Marley, Bob Dylan, Chuck D use their voices through their medium as artists, and then other visual artists like Robbie Canal, who I collaborated with in the mid-2000s, who had been a big inspiration for me, who was an outspoken political artist. So I felt like I finally had achieved the courage to become myself, what I emulated in a lot of my heroes. I think when Robbie Canal and Mir One and I did our anti-Bush, anti-Iraq war posters leading up to the 2004 election was the first time I really realized the power of how an image can rally a group of people. We did a concert called Be the Revolution, and after the concert there was a postering party. And to see more than 100 people all pick up brushes and posters and buckets of glue and go out and put these things up because they believed in the message behind the work, that was really meaningful to me. And I think that was a catalyst for me to keep trying to make work that could become a symbol for pushback against the Iraq War, against the Bush agenda, and then later to support Barack Obama. I thought that Obama needed an image that presented him as a legitimate candidate and patriot, and that was the first time I ever saw one of my images not only reproduced physically, but of course transmitted digitally around the globe. That made me think of the power of an image to represent an idea, a point of view, and that there is strength in numbers. It motivates people. I think everyone, when they're young, is not thinking about mortality or even thinking, more than a few minutes in the future about, what's at stake. And that's very liberating in a way, being in the moment. And I think that the idealism of being young is not thinking about, hey, is my retirement savings going well? Is my children's college fund going well? But as I got into adulthood, into my 30s, and settled down with a family, I matured and I started to think about more than just how people perceived me as a rebel, and started to think about how my actions impacted my own family and the rest of the world. It's important to understand how to blend those things because life is not one-dimensional. And I actually feel sorry for people who cling to one thing because they're fearful of evolving. And so for me, coming to terms with my responsibility as a parent, my responsibility as a citizen, that my civic engagement is important and everyone's civic engagement is important, and I need to lead by example.